Hello, welcome everyone. This is Melissa from FootfallCam Label Nest. Today's webinar, thank you for coming to today's webinar. We're going to talk about the electronic shelf label system, Label Nest, ESL system. So thank you again for coming. Now, during this webinar, I will do my presentation at the beginning, showing you a few things, how things work with the ESL system, and something more specific about it, some insider information. And then we will have a Q&A session at the end. So please feel free to ask any questions at the end. So during the initial presentation, I will mute everyone, and then and also I will be recording this webinar. So in the end, if you would like, we can share the webinar to you on the video recording, so you can share it on to your colleague if you like, and then but during the Q&A session I will stop the recording, so you may ask any questions you would like. So please unmute your mic at that time. So I will start with the webinar. So let me get my screen up for you. So I'm thinking everyone can actually hear me quite clearly. If not, then please raise up as well. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen. Many of you are already our partners for FootfallCam system, previously on people counting, and I know currently probably a lot of you are also using the COVID-19. So I won't spend too much time on that, introducing ourselves. So I'll go very straight onto the electronic shelf label. So this is a system where you will have a software. We call it the ESL platform. A platform manager it is a software, just like all our other people counting occupancy system. So from there, we connect to our transmitter. Usually we call it an ESL transmitter, but it's actually our FootfallCam 3D Max on there. And with that, it is a wireless connection to all the ESL tags. This is how then it updates all the ESL with their new prices and all that. So going through this electronic shelf label, this is the tags. So this is an electronic display on the shelf to replace traditional paper price label. So using the e-paper display technology, it has a high contrast ratio. You can also have it in different color. So typically it is black, white, and red, or black, white, and yellow. I do want to mention a little bit more about this e-paper technology. So with this e-paper technology, in the whole world, there's only just one source, and it's from China. So for the e-paper wise, e-paper is the very thin piece of screen on here. So any ESL manufacturer with these components, they all come from just the one same manufacturer in China. So there's massive company there. So to be honest, and then you probably some manufacturer will claim that they're slightly better than the other, but really they all come from the same source. So we're not going to claim that we are better than the other. Or the other are better than us. We are almost probably just the same, because we all get it from the same source. Now each connected, this then will then connect to an ESL transmitter, which is the base station, which is our camera there. It will be through a wireless network. It has an LED flashing light on top. This is for geolocation functions. I will explain a little bit more of the geolocation. Now behind this label, there is a barcode. So it is for pairing. So we're pairing that barcode at the back with the product that is put on that shelf, or the QR code. Now this we have, so with this is the basic function. So we have with our system, you have the basic function and then the advanced function. I will explain a little bit more why the difference. The difference is like this. So with the basic function, so all the tags are the same. The ESL tags are the same, but it will be with the basic function, you only just need the one transmitter. If you want the advanced function, you would just need a few more of the transmitter. That is the main difference between the basic and advanced. So that is there. Now the advanced function is where you have, it is actually a low power consumption. Sorry, this advanced function is more just talking about the tags. So I want to talk a little bit more on the advanced function of the tags. With here inside, we are using Texas Instrument chipset. There are a few manufacturers of this component of the chipset. Texas Instrument is probably is the most expensive one. The reason why we're not cutting corners on this is because it has one feature that we really want, which is a advanced battery saving chipset. That is on the Texas Instrument. Now, many other chipset, they do a lot of all these other functions as well. Because a lot of time the intelligence on an ESL system is on the software. So whether or not how you want to display it, how you want to update it, they're all on the software. But one important bit with this Texas Instrument hardware component is that it has advanced battery saving on there. It enables the ESL to go into deep sleep and wake up upon radio frequency. So these two combination is key, because without being able to wake up on radio, what your ESL needs to do is that it will need to routinely, based on a certain frequency, need to ping the transmitter to see if there is any update that it needs to be sent, because otherwise you will have a lag, you will have a delay between you wanting to update the price until when it next updated. So if you so in order to reduce the delay, what your label will needs to be is constantly ping the transmitter to see if there's any update. Now, when the label needs to constantly ping, then obviously it eats up the battery. So then because you're not talking about installing 10 of these tags in a shop. You literally, the minimum is probably 1,000. 5,000 is probably the on the lower side, and you're talking about an average 10,000 of the tags in a supermarket. So that is the volume of tags that would require. So if you imagine you're needing to change the battery every year, that become quite a tedious job. So the Texas Instrument, what it allows is wake up on radio frequency. So the tag can actually go into deep sleep. So it will deep sleep. It will be the signal will come from the transmitter to say, tag number 3, you need to update now. So then only it's wake up on the frequency. So in this one, it actually allowed the battery life, because the battery is the same kind of battery, a button battery. So, but the same battery will actually last up to 8 years. So this is how you're expanding the lifespan and reduce the maintenance on that. So this is a standard tag, where the operating temperature is 10 degrees to 50 degrees. So this is the normal situation where you are putting it at a room temperature. Then you have the freezer version. So this one operates below 25 degrees, so minus 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees. So this will be suitable for freezer, fridge area, and also some room temperature area. So the only difference with this is that this will only be black and white. So it doesn't have color because of this. But all the other features, all the other components are the same as the standard one. Now then, this is the ESL transmitter. So it is actually our FootfallCam camera, but if those of you who are familiar with us, this is an upgraded version. This is the 3D Max. So it comes with usual 2 lenses, the dongle, and this is the antenna for the transmitter. So it runs on a quad-core processor, which is very, very powerful. It is a computer inside. So you can update all the product price on the ESL tags within a range of 100 feet. simultaneously, all the same time. It supports up to 2000 ESL tags with one transmitter, and it's updating at a rate of 100 tags per minute. So this is the rate that it will update. All the data obviously is encrypted. We do have the different mounting height, so it can be a very low ceiling up to quite a high ceiling. Above that, again, we have again different lenses for that. Now, apart from the ESL transmitter, which is the basic function, so this is as a basic function compared to any other ESL system out there, this fulfills that requirement. And we also have an advanced function, because on our transmitter, we have additional, which is the 3D lens, which is what we have been doing. This is our forte, and the Wi-Fi dongle. So with that, we are able to provide you with video analytics, where we can track 3D human movement for product engagement analytics. So I'll now go through the functions. I will talk about the basic function, which is the most basic, most standard ESL requirement. So when you are comparing with your competitor, so for example, when you have a project with a supermarket, you're comparing with their competitor, so it fulfills all the basic requirements of an ESL system. And with the advanced function, which I'll talk about, it is somewhere where your competitive advantage is. So let's look at the basic function. So basic function is where you have a software. So you log into the software, you will have all the SKU code, all the and also the tag ID, and you key in your product name, prices, and all that, and you then be able to update it. So if I quickly play this, I will also be sharing this PowerPoint slides to you, so that when you get it, you'll be able to play that as well, or share it with your colleague. So with this one is a bulk update. So basically, if I play that again, is where you will come here, you make your changes there, and then you just click an update. So it's bulk update all of them all at the same time. So this way it is important. This is why the purpose of having an ESL system is so that from the headquarters, they can change prices on multiple products, obviously different products on different aisle, then very automatically. It is so efficient, because otherwise traditionally the store manager will then have to go and print out all these price tags, and then have to go into individual aisle, find the individual shelves to update that. They probably need to take hours of that to go through their whole store to be able to update all those price tags. But whereas with this one, they can quickly change whichever product that they need, and it's then quite an immediate instant change. The other thing is also they are able to carry out bulk updates across different branches, so that they make sure that their price is synced all over all the branches throughout their estate. And also then this also ensure the price displayed on the shelf is always the same as the price at the EPOS system. So we can also do a integration as well with their POS system, so that when they change the data on the POS, then they will change as well the relevant SKU code on there. So this is all being set up on the background. Obviously, you match the SKU code and the label, and then when the prices is being updated on their POS system for that particular SKU code, then that particular tag will update accordingly. So, for example, there are a lot of you're probably familiar with this. There are a lot of a lot of scenarios where they want to do a promotion. So maybe it's a hot day now, so they suddenly want to promote the cold drinks. So they either do a different display, suddenly they want to have a promotion display, or they change the price, or change it from promotion period back onto their usual retail price. So these are the things, obviously reducing the labor costs. The other thing with the functions is that you can you will have, because we have the LED light there, so you can assist with stock picking. So we have worked with this with a online supermarket. So the supermarket doesn't have any brick and mortar store, so they are mainly online. I can't tell you that brand, but you probably know, because there's not a lot of big brand out there that are purely online. So they are online, so they have warehouses, and then what they do is they have picker. So their picker, so people order their groceries online, so they have a list on the devices. It will then tell them where they need to go. So based on all those locations that have been preset, so it will then tell them, so for example, this picker will now need to go and get product A. So it will then light up product A. Obviously on their device display, it will tell them which aisle, but then when the picker go onto that aisle, this is not that warehouse, but you imagine a warehouse, that aisle will have almost 100 SKU code there. So different products on that one aisle, that shelf, because they probably have six level of different shelves on that rack. So it light up there. This then the purpose of that is to improve the efficiency of the picker. So a picker having to go into an aisle, check through all those 100 products to pinpoint where the product they need to pick. Now then the lights will actually light up, so they know actually where it will be. So it reduce the picking time by a lot. And also the other thing is also for a consumer app. So for example, some supermarket, they might have an app to help with their shoppers, their own customer. So shopper come here, they might search for a packet of a product, then it will tell them which aisle on their app. It will tell them the location, and then as they then go in, that will light up as well. So this is an LED light assisted stock picking. It is, as I mentioned just now, which is for resource constrained businesses, this is very, very useful there. So this is actually just the basic function. So for this, now the advanced function, where one thing is that is an automated product positioning. So because we have the LED light, so for example, at night, this is what it's going to look like. Can you see those blinking light? Like stars, and they blink at different frequency. So this is what we do at night when the stores is closed and when the light is off. It can work when the light is lit as well, but obviously it works much better when the light is off at night. So when all the lights are off, then it is useful as well for us. So this is actually with an accuracy of less than 5 mm. So we actually know which that product is, because what we go through is a program on there. So from our system, from our transmitter, it will set a program and say, okay, which product is now going to, which tag is now going to lit and at which frequency. Obviously, we go through all the different tags as well in that. So with that, we are able to automate a geolocation based on the light. Now this one is without our camera. This is the basic positioning. So this one is this is something that you will manually set up, so you'll know that this product is which shelf. So for example, for those where their product is always at the same place, this is more than sufficient, because we know that tag is always there, and they won't change location. So if they need to change location, obviously they need to just manually change that setting on the software. But with this one is then they can dynamically move the product anywhere they like, even during the day. So that is all, it will sync with our system. So for example, in the morning, that box of conflicts is here. Then in the afternoon, that box of conflicts decided to be moved here by the store manager, and it will still update that positioning with the LED light. This is then linking the product position and movement of shopper. The reason I will explain some more use case with this. With this use case is where we can say, okay, now how many people are passing by this aisle? And how many people are touching that product, because we know where that exact product is. So now then if you then move the conflicts to here, then we now know if people are touching the product here, this is that conflicts. So we are able to track, the how well received the market response of that particular product. So we have skeleton tracking for engagement rate. So because our people count, our camera is dual lens, it has 2 lenses, it is actually a 3D camera. So it's like Kinect, like Microsoft Kinect, we actually see the skeleton of a person. So we actually know the direction of travel, where their hand is touching. So if I want to show you this, I just zoom in a little. This is on YouTube. You have the link there. So when you get that, you can play that too. I think when I click on that. So this is the skeleton, what the camera is seeing. So you can actually see where they are touching on the shelf. So this is where we can reflect on the market response. So what you could see is, because we know which shelf has what label, so like this, which is the top-down view, so we can actually look at which product having how much of an engagement. So you count people that pass by that aisle as passerby, and those that actually touching a product as being we actually have 3 metrics. So we count people that let me show you that. I'm going to try and find my reports on there. I think I lose my reporting there somehow. Okay, I will find out. The link will be here. Apologies. So what you do is we actually count how many people are actually passing by, if you can see it here. The number of passerby, how many people stand there for a threshold number of times. So anyone standing there for, by default, probably 5 seconds and above, then we call that as being engaged on that aisle. So someone who is actually standing there looking at the product. And then number of people touching. So this is the touching rate. So you will have all this additional wealth of data to be able to provide to your customer. Now we have been working with Unilever and also all the other the other bigger corporation. Now Unilever does not own a lot of shops, so those they own like ice cream stores, boutique shops like for their mustards, for their creams. So they do own some stores. Of those stores, they have already installed our cameras for people counting. Now, but as you know, Unilever, they provide a lot of products to supermarkets and all that. So they know how much they are selling of each of the product, but they do not know the market response. So whether or not people are at the supermarket, has anyone passed by that aisle where their product are, or if people are passing by, are they engaging with them, with their conflicts, for example? And if they engage with their conflicts, or are they engaging more with their competitors' conflicts and all that? And if they're engaging with if they're at that aisle looking at those products, are they touching it? And then compare it to how many are being sold. So these are the wealth of data that they are wanting, because when they launch a new flavor, a new product, they know how much they have sold, but then they do not know what is the market response. How well is it being received? Has actually nobody looked at their product at all? Or do they have a lot of people looking at it and engaging with it, but the sales is just not up? So then they will be able to get all this information with this system. Now, Unilever has worked with us for a long time, and and they've always been saying that they will buy the data. So therefore, some of the supermarkets that we have been working with, this is part of the ROI, so that they invest in the system for their own use, for their own tag update, but there is a use case where they're able to sell the data, because this is then giving product level engagement and sales conversion on there. So this is a very useful functions there. And the other thing is also empty shelf detection, because we are able to see where a shelf was previously stocked. For example, in here, then we can see based on red or blue. So we monitor all those shelves looking down here. So for example, here now that shelves was stocked and it's now empty. Then you can see that it's actually blue. So with this, an alert will be sent to the store manager, or it will be on their software, on the dashboard they could see. So this is then a very quick, a very efficient replenishment of shelves, because for businesses, for retailers, it is a lost opportunity, it's a missed sales opportunity if their stock is, if they're not well stocked. So this is a function that they would like as an added benefit. So apart from fulfilling the usual basic requirement of a ESL system, these are the additional functions that they can get from our system. So I want to quickly show you our Label Nest platform, which is the software. So it can, with the software, so the one company account, it can manage up to 5,000 stores and up to 100,000 tags per store. So you can, it's quite a big capacity there. Now, of course, some of the customers may have more than that. So what you do then is you would create a separate company account for the additional one. So this is just a limit per company account, not a user, because one company, you obviously have all the employees that needing to access will have their own user account. This is a company. So for example, one of the company will have that. And then if they have more than 5,000 stores, then you would just call it company 2. So for example, that way. So you can still manage it that way. It is a real-time synchronization of price and content in the management in bulk. You can regulate stock levels by displaying inventory information in real time as well. That is for like empty shelf detection. You can integrate all the software as we do with our people counting system. We have the API ready, so you can integrate it with any other the retailer's BI system. We have all the health check in place. It is a truly enterprise level software. We have all the health check in place, multi-level user, different layout template you can available to choose from. The data type is TCP/IP. So we have a full data sheet that you can get. Now a little bit more about this. So I can show you a video here. I'll probably zoom in so that you can see it better. So I go back there. So this is a list of all the different products on there. So if you want to change something, it was 1,100 before. So now you're changing that price to a different price. And then you may want to change the product name as well on there. So it's just showing you there. And then you save. And you will then, you can sync all of them all together, or this one hasn't been synced, and you can then go and check the template, how it's being displayed, the look of it, and you update it. So you sync it. Then it will tell you that it is syncing. And then this is then changed, updated to that. So this is how you would update a tag from the software. Of course, you would need to be make sure that the transmitter is registered onto the software for under a specific branch. You need to properly set up the company and branch and all the different transmitter on there. So we will also guide you on that. So this is how you do the text configuration and price updates. So you're pairing new ESL to site, you will use that. You streamline the multiple price updates. You manage the content display because you can change the template layout. You can change the text on there so that you can maximize the staff operation on their usual operating tasks. So you eliminate the demand of manpower to have to handle manual price change. So the other thing is so you can generate big data analytics. So it is powerful software module, enables the counter data to be visualized and perform on the advanced analysis. So you can collect data and generate reports such as customer product engagement rate. So for example, here I'm trying to find you where my reports are. Bear with me just a second. I have it loaded up just now and I'm wanting to show you on that. One of it is like here. So you will have this, all the different tags on there and obviously showing you an image. And this is all the product on there, the different codes. So it gives you a number of passerby, how many are engaged, your percentage of engagement, how long they stay there, the dwell time, and your sales conversion. So you generate a report like this. Getting back here, I'm wanting to show you. I'm sorry, bear with me. I'm trying to show you a report here as well. All right, it's here actually. I've opened it here. So this is your engagement report. So for example, you have 309 product. So number of product engagement. So how many people have engaged with the product? How many people have touched it? The highest product engagement rate is just 44%. And that product is the soy protein chocolate. Highest product touch rate, which is 99%, which is very good, which is this kitchen cleaner. So you can have reports like this with on the engagement. It tells you what all the other definition is, and you look into product like this. You can group your product by category. Obviously, some is the different brand or different category. Number of product passerby, number of engagement, number of people touching it, the quantity sold. This is a integration with the POS system. So we integrate it to us. Obviously the different engagement rate, touch rate, and the sales conversion. So these are report like this. So this is the software where you log in. So you will log in to username, the usual dashboard and analytics and reports there. This is the ESL part, which we have all the different brand name there, the different product and the last update. So all the different category in there. On there. So it is also an enterprise class where you have all the maintenance. So if you have your issue tracker, your support portal, your settings, I'm just waiting for that to load. So all the different companies, all the users that you can set up. And we also have health check to make sure you have the data availability there. On there. Sorry, this is a demo account and I haven't got anything on there to show. But this is the, coming back to this engagement report. So this was just now where we're looking at the engagement report. You also have heat map. So this is where you can see where people are standing, where is the cold, a hot zone, and where is the colder zone. So this one probably have not so many people there, but these are the product. These are the area where people stand there most. So this is a heat map on top of a floor pan. So coming back to this. So the deployment scenario, because just now we mentioned about basic function and advanced function. So what is the difference? You will still have the same number of tags because the number of tags will be usually is one tag per product. So you will have the same number of tags. So the basic system is that you will have your tags and then you will have your transmitter. Now, one transmitter will be up to 30-meter coverage. So depending on how big that stores, then you will have the one camera covering up to 30-meter. So with this scenario, you'll be able to have all the basic function as a ESL system. So how we pair the device is like this. So you will first put a, we have like holders on there. So if it's a shelf, you have a holder. If it's tabletop, then you have a tabletop stand. We have different sizes of the label as well. This is quite small for the shelf one. We have a bigger one for the tabletop stand as well. There is a barcode at the back. So you would scan the barcode of the tag, and then you will scan the barcode of that product. This is then how you pair the product to the code. Then you put the ESL onto the holder, and then it will sync. This is then how it syncs to the transmitter. Then now it's paired, so it will always be that tag that is for that product. So this is basic function. So with that, I believe a 30-meter range is actually quite a very good range as compared to our competitor, and that will do all the basic ESL function that your customer will require. Now then, the only difference for an advanced system is where you have all those analytics of your product level analytics. The only difference is you will still have the same number of tags. The only difference is you will have a few more transmitter. So it's because then because the camera view is quite short range as compared to the radio frequency range. So with that, if you want to see more shelves, then you would then need a few more transmitter. Now, then you would say, how, is it a lot more expensive? But you're looking at, so for example, the tag price indication, it goes from $10 USD. Is from that price. So depending on your volume, so you're probably talking about that, and the store probably will need about 10,000 tags. So the in a project cost, it is the tag that is that makes up the main bulk of the budget, whereas the transmitter is more expensive. You're talking about $550 for a transmitter, but you're looking at, for 10,000 tags, maybe you're needing 6 transmitters or more. So with the you probably is not going to see a big difference in pricing between an advanced system and a basic system, because you're only just needing a few more transmitter. But the option is there, so you don't have to push an advanced system. So usually what our customers is seeing, and a lot of our partners are seeing, that they will go through a basic system, because that will fulfill all the requirement from your customer on an RFI, RFQ, RFP, for all the requirement they need for a ESL system. This will cover that. Then, but you get your foot in. So that is where you get your foot in with that. But usually customers, they want to have a future roadmap. They want to see what else more do you have in your system that you can offer them in the future. That becomes your competitive advantage. So with that, you can tell them that in the future, if you want to upgrade, you're only just costing a little bit more, but then you're getting all this advanced function with a automatic geolocation, with the product level engagement analysis. So these are the scenario. So case studies we have installed. So in people counting, we have installed a lot more. We have installed 500,000 counters worldwide. But this we have soft launched this already. So we have some case studies in with bigger corporation, for example, in Amway, and also for those online groceries warehouses. We also worked with factory level. So factory warehouses. So it's not just for businesses where they are doing consumer groceries. So we have worked with like Xerox factory, where they have warehousing for their components and also their end products. So with that level, so they will be using ESL system like that. So before I go into Q&A question, I want to share some information about some in industry insight. So in this industry, there are not a lot of manufacturer of ESL system out there. It is quite new, but the trend is going up. The demand is rising because of this is much better than RFID. You probably heard about RFID. They never is very expensive system because that is only for security. So it hasn't picked up much, or those big corporations are looking into this. But this one is something that are really helping them to increase their top line in terms of sales, because when you the last thing you want is that your pricing does not tally, and if you have a promotion that your price doesn't reflect immediately, because usually when a business have a promotion is because they need to fulfill the current demand. So for example, if you're wanting to promote your cold drinks, it's because on a hot day, you want to make sure that your promotion is being updated to all your stores instantly. So there is a big demand, big need for a ESL system on there, and the reduction in their labor costs is an immediate ROI on the system. So so there is a big demand on there. So but what you wanted to see, so there are a few competitors out there. So one is a Swedish company, Pricer. They're still using the remote control type infrared as a transmitter. So they're probably one of they're more expensive than our system, but they're very good. But they're still using a older technology in terms for their transmission from the ESL transmitter to the tags. So that's not very good in that, because with that infrared you have a lot of interference, and that's why their system will probably need quite a lot more transmitter than required. But they're Swedish made. Then there are also the more you will see it probably be from China. So China, there are a couple of them on there. So now we have got to say updating the tag is quite a low tech thing. So is a as we say, e-paper, they all comes from the same source. It's just depending on what chipset you use inside there for the durability and stability of the tags. But the high tech side, it comes from all the other functions, all the software added functions in there. Now, the reason why we're able to use that is actually because we are a manufacturer for people counting. Our transmitter already have cameras in there. So all the other transmitter, they have no camera, so they won't be able to give you any analytics on the product level conversion and geolocation, because they are not able to update their location of the tags with light with the camera. So what the other competitor that you will face, you will know, you will have the confidence that what they can do, we can do, but what they can't do, we can also do. So that's for you to gauge. And the pricing is also for you to gauge what your local market is. Usually people will be prepared to pay 5% above or 20% above our China competitor, and the Swedish price is definitely more expensive than us. So you will know then by gauging that. And so we obviously price it very competitive for you, so that you will be very competitive in terms of your local market to your end customer as well. The other thing is also, with our system, we have a lot of integrated solution. So we have a lot of our partners, they install people counting system for their customers as a foot in the doorstep. So once they install a people counting system, they will then sell them all the other functions, as well as they will sell them the ESL like this. Or for you, you might get in as an ESL system, and then in the later, you will be able to extend to people counting, to queue counting, to occupancy counting, to all those other functions. So your customer will find that the extensibility and the future use case and the development roadmap will be a very strong case for them to choose you as a supplier. So that's the end of my presentation. I will stop my recording now, and we go to Q&A. I'll go back to this slide. We'll go back to Q&A. So if you have any questions, please unmute yourself